I get smacked real hard about life is short. And then it kept telling me, life is short. Life is short. If I get this one glorious life, I want to live the heck out of it. I've been through a lot of stages in my life in terms of growth and opportunity and different things like that. And really, just to kind of give a little background, I am just old enough to hit like every major life milestone in like every disaster that's happened since 2001. A lot of it had to do with interpersonal relationships, like I should just make it work and really tolerating things like that. And it honestly took me having been through all of those things and a bad marriage to realize that I had been putting up with that for all that time. And once I got clear that I didn't have to live like that, it was very much a moment. I took a break from the apps, and then I sat down and I literally wrote in a notebook. Like I was literally just fed up with the kind of messages I was getting, and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna write down everything that I want in a man, like my Mr. Perfect, like who is he as a person, like how would he treat me. 6 months later, I dipped my toe back into the apps, but this time I signed up for the one where my sister had met her wife on it, and I went on about my life. Like I hung out with my friends, and I'm a consummate learner. I will never not be interested in something or learning more. I really focused on like me and kind of exploring who I am really on the other side of peeling back the layers of this like suppression and this almost sadness that I'd been carrying for so much of my life that I didn't even realize was there until like it became so stark I couldn't ignore it. Once I broke through that and I realized I'm not stuck with any of this at all. It was more about like playing in life and like, yeah, we had to work to pay the bills. But it's like, well, what if I tried something new? Or what if I put myself out there? Like, apply for the job that you don't even think you're qualified for? I told my boss I'm not coming back. I was like, I'll help you replace me. Like, I was like, if you don't want me to do this, I understand. And I had nothing negative about it. And we actually continued that long distance for, I want to say 2 years. In the meantime, knowing that this was coming, I was like, well, what if I worked for myself? Or what if, I mean, I knew I wanted to continue working remotely. So I started applying for different jobs and things like that. And I actually picked up a couple of clients. So like what started out as sort of like a side job, just to like, again, partly to fill the time. I took on aspects of like things that are in my sphere of expertise that occur to me as very simple, very easy. Like I could do this no problem, like with my eyes closed. Seeing the impact that it made on others, like one, it was like, oh yeah, we hired you to do our accounts, but then I was getting asked questions about operational stuff. And I'm like, I can already see that's how that's gonna go, like because I have experience with it. And I was able to empower them to get ahead of that stuff. And then next thing I knew, it sort of ballooned into other opportunities, like helping them see also where they might be holding themselves back. In a lot of the same ways that at one time I experienced that, not only encourage them to see past that, but also empower them. And it's almost like in partnership with them. People are like, they're really passionate about building, but a lot of them haven't, or if they are newer to this, or it's like, oh, I've always worked for someone, now I'm going to work for myself. Well, here I am, and I'm like, I've been in your shoes, and I've also done all those other jobs, and I can help fill the gaps that you don't even realize that you may have. That's where I come in. I'm like, I either help train your team to help you do that so that you have all the pieces of the puzzle in place, so that you have steadier cash flow, so that you have ways to protect your rights, whether it's with clients or it's on a project or things like that. And I also do that for small business owners. And that actually has turned out to be really where a lot of my really accomplished women that I work with, these really impressive people that just like need some guidance and some help with certain aspects of their business. And I'm happy to fill that gap with them. And I work with a team that can help support that across industries because I care about everyone like that works with me. I want you to win this game of life. From the time we said that to a year later, actually living in the United Kingdom, that took cleaning out our house, selling our house, which, by the way, again, an example of how this sort of you create something, like you get present to something that you want for yourself or that could be possible, and then things start to align to that. We put our house on the market, and 2 days later, the first people that walked through it made us a full price cash offer. And that's actually who I sold my house to. It's like the universe was there to support me once I got clear that one, I deserve beautiful things. And I'm not to say that we didn't stumble along the way and that life doesn't life. It's just, I get that it's not the whole picture. First, it was the man of my dreams. Then it was working for myself. And now it's living in the United Kingdom and figuring out buying a house so we can have adventures. It's the weekend trip we took to Edinburgh, because I hadn't been there and spent a lot of time there. We passed through once basically for a day. And we got to spend a few days in the old town learning about history. We climbed up to the castle and it was just like, this is amazing to me. It's funny that you mentioned like your circumstances. Really what it is that I had to get clear that these are just things. Like these are just like pieces of the puzzle. I didn't have to always be 100% my circumstances. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I've been through some things in my life that were traumatic, that took something to get past, to separate what happened from who I am and what I make those things mean about myself and my life. And of course, when you talk about recessions and things like that, it's like understanding like there's going to be times in your life that you may have to do things to survive. You may tolerate things to get through them. So for example, in the pandemic, my husband lost his job and didn't work for 6 months because he worked sort of like obliquely with the hospitality industry. Like a lot of people, I started a garden, I was baking bread, eventually spawned into my farmer's market business. The meditation really came when the pandemic happened and like the whole world felt like it fell apart for a lot of us. The systems and structures that we were living inside, it's even to me, like it's almost more evidence that life is too short to just like to continue to be in a bubble. Ultimately, it was like the continued exploration of like, where else am I putting a cap on what's available to me? And then when I got connected to just committing to this one small thing for this short period of time for what, maybe 10 minutes a day, just helped kind of quiet all the drama around me and gave me the space to realize this is just what's happening. This is not who we are. This is not all there is. Life is short. Live the heck out of it.